everyone. This is Cyrus.
And Amanda.
And welcome to the Gowns and Crowns podcast. Amanda and I get asked a lot by our clients about how they should handle their social media if they are a title holder or hope to be a title holder. And while Amanda and I are just two people, we do have a lot of experience in the business, and we have actually watched social media blossom
Along with the girls, yes.
Yeah, because I mean, you came along when there wasn't social media. You just you had to go out in person and make your appearances,
Yes.
and which I still think girls do that, but I do think they rely heavily on social media now.
Yes.
So I know Amanda has kids, and she's very conscious about what they put on social media personally. I know I have a private social media versus my professional social media, but Amanda and I have some helpful hints on if you want to be a title holder and how you can navigate that slippery slope between what you should post and what you shouldn't post.
Right.
Because I think as an individual, you should be able to live your life, but I also think as a title holder, you have to understand you've taken on a responsibility to hold yourself to a different standard
Got to separate the two sometimes.
when it comes to being in the public eye. So Amanda, why don't you start us off with, we talked earlier about what we think what you and I agree on that young ladies should do if they're going to have social media.
So if you're going to have your own personal social media, absolutely fine. It needs to be set to private, and then create a totally separate social media that's still your name, but it's got your title on it where everyone can view it, and that's solely for that title. There's nothing personal going on there. Keeping the two separate is the safest way to go. It's not like you're hiding anything, but it's just strictly for that title.
Yeah, well, and you said they could put their name on it, which I agree.
Yes.
I've had several clients, they've put like Amanda's pageant. Amanda's pageants
Pageant
or
or
something like that. And then you
Right.
can, and then you're not stuck with just one title. You can chronicle all of your pageant experiences and all of your pageant journey. Where if I was a judge, I can go back and I'm like, oh my gosh, she was her high school beauty queen, or she was homecoming queen at her college and stuff
all
like
things
that.
pageant go on this one account.
But I don't have to wade through all the pictures of you and your boyfriend or all the family vacations to try to find a picture of you doing community service.
And remember, once it's out there, it's out there.
Yes.
So be really careful about what you do put out there, and know that it could resurface. Social media is such a wonderful tool if it's used the right way, but when it's used the wrong way or misused, that's where it becomes tricky, especially being in the pageant world.
And also, if you put something that's risky or questionable on social media, even on your personal social media, you're also opening yourself up to allowing someone else to have ammunition against you.
Because a lot of times, especially now in pageants, they will ask for your social media handles.
It's actually on the applications now.
Yes. So these judges, directors, whomever is involved with this system can go and look you up. Got to be careful with that.
I also take it a step further because we do work with a lot of girls that want to enter the modeling industry. So we do coach girls on how to kind of not break into the business, but steps they can take to go to an agency and stuff like
Right.
that. I also think if you're wanting to do pageants and modeling, that's two separate accounts.
Yes.
Do not combine the two. If I'm a talent scout, I'm not interested in all your beauty titles. I want to see the pictures that you've taken with photographers and the stuff that you've done to
It
work
looks that part.
that works toward a modeling career.
Yes.
But if I'm a director and I've heard about you and I want to pull up your social media, I want to be like, okay, well, if this girl comes to my pageant and she were lucky enough to win, this is somebody that I would want to have as a title holder. But I do think that social media has become such the norm in our lives that I don't necessarily think, I don't want to say this generation because I think it's across the board. I see a lot of adults without filters. You've got to learn to filter what you put on there. I know another thing that Amanda and I talked about in one of our previous podcasts, it was with the pet peeves about be age appropriate.
Yes.
I just have mixed feelings about moms creating fan pages for their 9-year-old because a pageant expects you to do that. I just, that's just something that I have to live with. But I just, it's interesting to me that a pageant will require a girl to do social media when they're not even old enough to be on social media.
Yes,
Give
and
that
this is
kid,
something that we're going to talk about in our pet peeves
yeah.
episode. Yes.
So, but I think, if you go to a pageant and you win and they want to provide you with a little miss or young miss or, preteen or petite miss thing that's associated with their pageant that they can put you on because they're your winner,
Right.
then I think that's one thing. But I think asking you or your mom to create a page for you just to promote their pageant when you're 8, I don't know. I just have mixed feelings about that, and we talked about that. So basically what we're talking about today is for 13 and up. This is for girls that are old enough. Yeah, old enough to have social media. And this isn't to reprimand parents, but parents, you also have to be responsible for what your kids are posting. If they live under your roof, you should definitely know what they're posting on social media, whether it's their personal or their public account.
And it gives them a great opportunity to learn some responsibility with
Yeah,
that. So it's all
absolutely.
a matter of teaching, which can be difficult because you want to give them that freedom, but at the same time, you have to be really careful. Not just for their sake, but you don't know who's out there.
So let's talk about some things that if I were, let's say I'm a judge and I've been told that I could look at, contestant number one's social media. Let's talk about some things as a judge you would want to see on there.
I just want to see the girl being real, being approachable. I love when they do a quick little snapshot video of them talking. You can hear their voice. It's like you're talking to them. I love to see them out and about making a difference. I love to see their everyday life. I think having a combination of all of that just makes it very approachable and real. It's not just pageant, 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 pageant. It's a little bit of everything all rolled into one. Being mindful that you're not having your everyday personal life.
Yeah, we're not talking about boyfriends and bikini pictures at the beach.
That's not what I mean. Yes,
we're talking
no.
about, that you like to go to Starbucks or you like
Yes.
shopping with your girlfriends
Absolutely.
or things like that.
Those types of just fun teen things.
I think as a judge for me, I want to know if you have if you have a talent. Do you play the violin? Are you a speed painter? Or
Yeah.
or I have a girl that actually is a wrestler, which
Okay.
is unusual. I
Yeah.
think that's unusual. My guy friends growing up were the wrestlers were always boys. Till I met this young lady, I did not realize that was a thing. And then I have another girl that's a pole vaulter. If you do something that I think is unique or different, this would
it
be
right on there.
This would be the place to showcase that. I also think I like the idea of what you said, Amanda, about putting a video on there where they can hear you speak, because then they know whether you could be a public speaker
Right.
or not.
How do you handle yourself in front of an audience? Because that's what you're going to be doing as a title holder for 365 days.
And I also want to see you out there doing community service and making a difference in your community. I think anytime that you win a title, and I don't think every title expects you to make community service, but most of the ones we work with, they're looking for some level of you not to just post on social media, but for you to go out into the community and physically do something.
Yes.
And and that's another thing. I know that probably could have been in our pet peeves, because I think some people, it's their pet peeve when girls photograph all their community service and post it. I don't mind that. That's a snapshot that kind of teaches other individuals that this is a thing.
It's not just a photo op. They're actually doing it. And when you are a title holder, perfectly fine to take a picture of you doing something in your crown and your banner.
Yeah.
It's not just a photo op or an opportunity to brag on yourself. That's you making that difference, and you would do it whether you had that crown and banner on or not.
And I do think there's a fine line. I mean, you use common sense when you post it.
Right.
If you're going to the soup kitchen, it's one thing to post on your social media with you at the sign that you're at the soup kitchen. You don't necessarily have to post pictures of you serving individuals who may not want to be
In that.
on your social media. But it's certainly okay to say that you were there, to say how many
Yes.
hours that you contributed. Also, another thing I like to see, photography is a big part of pageantry. They have headshots, they have this, but I want to see headshots that look like the girl.
Yes, I've actually seen that before, where a girl has had a picture on her social media and then she shows up
And looks nothing like it. Let's just be honest. Yeah, she looks nothing like that photo.
No.
Doesn't mean she's unattractive. It just means that she's had some picture made that is so unrealistic.
Can't live up to it.
I always tell girls, yes, we all, me included, I love having a great photograph of myself. I love having a good photographer. I like going through the whole process, and I like having a good in-game product.
Right.
But I don't use those as my profile picture. Those are just posted on there somewhere, and this is the photographer, and this is what I did this for. And I give everybody the
Credit.
I give them credit, but I also let the audience know why this picture was.
Yes.
made.
Why it's being made, why it's out there.
And that is another, you did another thing that we've never really addressed. It is important, yes, we pay for things in the pageant industry. We pay for gowns, we
An
pay for,
investment.
and we pay for photos. But it's really nice when you go to somebody, like if you went to a photographer you really loved and you're going to use those photos, that you give them a shout out, or you give them a photo credit, because you're helping their business to thrive,
100%.
their business to thrive also. What I don't want to see on your social media is if you don't win the particular competition that you were hoping to win, that you put something negative on your pageant. It's okay to be disappointed. We keep talking about that.
Yes.
I mean, I've had plenty of disappointments in my life, but I try to steer away from airing that on social media. It's great to say you went to a pageant. It's okay to say you didn't win. Just leave it at that.
Yes.
But if you had a great experience and you didn't win, say that.
Absolutely. Or maybe give it the 24-hour
Yeah.
rule.
Oh, yeah.
Give it 24 hours before you post.
My mom was
because in
always
a
big about-
heated moment, you may post something that you're going to regret. And like I said before, once you put it out there, it's out there. Even if you take it down, you never know who's taking a screenshot of it or where it may end up. Be careful of that too.
What else do I like to see? So I like to see talent. We've addressed the photography. I like to see pictures from other pageants that you've done. You know, if I were a director of a pageant, it doesn't matter to me if you've done 100 other pageants. What matters to me is when you come to my pageant that you're going to be loyal to me
Right.
for the time period that you're participating
Right.
in our pageant.
Right. You're not considered a crown chaser if you're putting
Right.
all of these out there. If I were a director and saw that the girl was successful in these other systems, that would make me trust her that much more. I've seen what she's done. I've got physical evidence to see that she made a difference during her year, and she can be trusted to hold this title and to set a great example on the social media if she were to be my queen.
Now, here's another thing that I think that's kind of a different spin or a different look when you're doing social media. If social media is not your thing, whether you're a teenager or a young adult and you don't want to do social media for your pageant and you don't plan to, then have a personal account set to private, but don't set up any other accounts that has one picture on it. I would rather, if I were a judge looking for a girl's social media, I would rather see nothing than to see that she had an account and did nothing with it. And then you're going to compare her to the girl. She's like, okay, well, this girl just doesn't have social media, but that doesn't bother me. That's just not their thing.
Right.
But I also don't want to see it where it looks like she halfway.
Did it.
I think social media, if you're going to participate in it, either be all in
All or nothing.
or all out. Now, I have a couple of teenagers. They're just not interested in social media, and they don't even have like TikTok or anything like that. And they're always like, Mr. Cyrus, do you think that will hurt me? And I'm like, well, if you win a state title, then I think you're going to have to do social media because that's part of your requirement. But I don't think it should require you to have personal social media if you don't want it. Listen, I admire any kid in today's society that can live their life and not feel like they have to post everything that they do
Yes.
on social media.
Yes.
But I also appreciate the kids that take the effort and they're kind of living the chapters of their life like an open book.
Absolutely.
But so what else do you look for?
I think I look for just someone who, like you said, I mean, it's all or nothing. If you're going to have the account, it's really important about what you're putting on there and what you do after the pageant or after you've crowned the next queen. What do you continue to do? What kind of example do you continue to set? Because you're still considered a role model for that system. And even though you might not be their reigning queen, you're still going to be attached to it. So you've got to be careful with that too about what you decide to do moving forward with your life.
Yeah,
Yes, 'cause
absolutely.
people are still going to find you, and nowadays it's a lot easier to find you because there's so many different outlets of social media. So be wise about what you choose to continue to do even years after the pageant.
Another thing when it comes to social media, we've talked about, I would personally rather have a girl create one pageant page and put all of her stuff on there. But there are a lot of girls who create a different page for every title they've held along the way, so that when you either Google or you look for that girl, all these random pages come up. And then, after that title was over, they quit doing anything with it. I personally think that you should delete those.
Archive.
Or archive it.
or delete it. Right.
And only have the most current stuff for the judges to
Or
see.
move those over to the account merged with what you're currently doing.
I think another thing when it comes to pageant things that you post on your public pageant page, have permission from other people before you post them on your page. I've had girls get mad, and rightfully, they have the right to do that. And they're like, well, they were in my photo. But yes, but if you're going to take a picture with 2 or 3 people and you don't know somebody in the photo,
Just ask them, is
You
it
need to-
okay if I post this? This is probably going to go on my social media. Are
Yes.
you all right with that?
but that gives them the opportunity to step out of the photo.
Right.
Because I do know that there are some girls who want to edit every picture that they have and they don't want to be in someone else's pictures unedited. I don't necessarily think that we should celebrate that, but I respect their right to control the way their image looks.
And how they're
And if somebody takes an average
Broadcast
to
to
a
the world.
bad picture of them, they should not have to see that posted on somebody else's social media. I always tell people, if you don't want a bad photo posted of you, then don't post a bad picture of somebody else.
Yes, treat others the way you want to be treated, and that applies with social media.
I think that, I think you were in Mrs. Galaxy before social media came along. That was the first time that you really had, because we had a page for Mrs. Galaxy on Facebook. That was before Instagram and TikTok and all of
Just
those.
as that was starting, Instagram was really starting to flourish at that time.
And we actually used that opportunity. We started posting from the ground up. We posted a little bit about each of the pageants you did. And instead of saying, oh, I was in Miss South Carolina, USA, or oh, I was Miss Earth, we didn't present it that way. We posted all these pictures to show that this journey was what led
Me to that retirement.
to Mrs. Galaxy. And then when you won it, the other thing I liked about you also, you covered your whole year all the way up until you gave up your crown. Until you gave up your crown. I think another thing when it comes to social media, if you win a state title and we follow your journey and you go to the national pageant and you do not win, please do not let that be the end of your
Don't just stop
journey.
right there. Right.
Yeah. I've had girls, they'll go to Miss USA or they'll go to Miss America or they'll go to Miss Earth or they'll go to this big grand pageant
And then there's crickets.
and then they don't win and then they don't post one thing after that, which makes it look like the only reason you were to do it was to try to go to a national pageant
Right.
and win. It doesn't look like you really valued the title that you won or you didn't value being your state queen. I always go back to one thing that you said about being a Miss USA in an interview, because there's a lot of girls don't like to have to wear the sash over their gowns or their swimsuits that represent their state. And Amanda said in an interview one time, they said, what did you like about Miss USA? And you said, I loved getting up every day and putting my state across my chest and representing my state.
Yes.
Just because you didn't win the national level, I feel like you owe it to
You're still your state's queen.
yeah,
It's a
you
huge
owe
deal.
it. You owe it to all of your fans to continue
Yes.
let us see your journey until you give that. We want to see it through with you.
Absolutely.
And if you come back and maybe you have an organization that isn't giving you a lot of appearances or stuff like that because the national pageant
Always
is over,
find
reach out on your social media. I see girls all.
Yeah.
I even have girls that I don't work with that'll inbox me and they'll go, "Hey Cyrus, I know I don't work with you, but I'm this particular title holder and I see where your girls go to a lot of appearances." And I've gotten girls appearances that I don't even really know because you know why? They reached out.
Yes.
And they're trying to live out the rest of their reign. But just keep that in mind. Social media, if you're going to take us along for the ride, don't leave us at the bus stop if you don't win the next level, because we
Yeah.
want to see what the next part of your,
If you need a breath after, that's fine. Need a beat, all good.
just say, hey, taking a breath, but I'll be right back with you. I'll be right back with you. All right. So social media is a negative and a positive. We hope today we've kind of given you an idea how to navigate in a positive way.
And view it in a positive way.
And view it,
Yes.
yeah, absolutely. But keep your private, and then keep your public something that you would not mind your grandmother looking
Your
at.
work life and your personal life separate. Yes, absolutely.
All right, this is Cyrus,
And Amanda,
and thank you for joining us for the Gowns and Crowns podcast. And Amanda,
the world of beauty and a universe of possibilities.
we'll see you guys next time.